You are listening to StoryMakers, the podcast for women who are ready to step into their true identity, live with meaningful purpose, find belonging and connection, grow in leadership, and walk boldly in faith. Here you can uncover the story that you were created to live because you were made for such a time as this. So this is the last of my mini-series on depletion and renewal. We are talking about rhythms. Building a life that helps us to stay full and over so that we can overflow and do it with boundaries, right? Create a rhythm around it. Because renewal and getting filled back up feels really good, but can be very fragile if we don't set a rhythm around it and create boundaries to protect it. So you can get filled up today and empty again tomorrow if you don't learn how to live from a steady flow. Thinking I picture that chocolate fountain that we talked about last episode. If the chocolate in that fountain is a consistent flow and it has the top, I don't know what you call that in a fountain. I'm calling it a shelf. It comes out of the top onto the middle shelf and then over to the larger bottom shelf, right? If the chocolate is continual, it's awesome. And Jesus is our constant fountain of living water, right? So there's never a stop in that stream. But the system, like in a chocolate fountain, it can break. It can get unplugged. It can get clogged. You use the wrong oil, wrong temperature, blah, blah, blah. But if you just take that shelf out or you create something that keeps the flow of the chocolate from being smooth and it's like just spurting out in like a burst, then it's not sustainable, right? It's not going to fill up the shelves, so that middle layer, so that the bottom layer can get what it's waiting for, right? And if you and I are the middle layer and God is the fountain and the flow, you and I are that middle shelf that gets filled up to overflowing so that everybody who we serve and love gets what comes out of us, right? But if there's these big emotional bursts instead of constant, steady flow, it's not sustainable. So you have to think of rhythm as a pattern that actually protects your peace and your routines and the renewal and fulfillment of what you're getting from the fountain. It's not about it's not like routines that box you in. It's the practices that you set in place in your life to keep you connected to your life and your people, connected to God, connected to priorities, connected to things that really matter. So it's like renewal is what fills your cup, but rhythm makes sure that the cup isn't broken, it's not leaking. And again, when Jesus says, "Come to me all who are weary and burdened, I'll give you rest," he says, "Learn from me and you will find rest for your souls." He doesn't just give rest, he actually teaches us rest. And that means rest is something we can learn. It's a learned rhythm. So we have to practice it till it becomes natural and second nature. I think after a season of being empty and depleted, rhythm might even feel like it's too much structure, which I can be resistant to some structure pretty powerfully, unless I understand it. But it's really about the flow, and it's the difference between like what do you call this? Starts with an R. Difference between a river and a reservoir. Reservoir? Am I saying that right? A reservoir. Reservoir? I don't know. French. A reservoir stores up energy for later. A river keeps moving. It receives water from a source and then it releases water into a new source. That's kind of like the rhythm that our spirits and souls are designed for. The way that you build a rhythm that can help you stay renewed and refilled is number one, I think, create an anchor versus a rigid schedule. Anchors are consistent touch points that will keep you steady no matter what the day brings. My anchor is morning time, like quiet morning time. My anchor could be like some break in the middle of the week. My anchor is a date night on Friday. My anchor is a, reflection or devotion in the evening where I just say three things I'm grateful for, whatever it is. Anchors are things that are like stabilizing. They're like a milestone or a marker that you can hold on to for your soul. Also, establishing boundaries that guard the flow. Okay, back to our chocolate fountain at a birthday party. There was a kid. This child shall remain nameless. This kid wanted all things chocolate fountain and would not leave chocolate fountain alone. And so, what did Laura have to do? Laura had to become the boundary. I didn't want to have to micromanage the chocolate fountain. I didn't want to have to become, the royal guard. But said child required a boundary get set because said child was taking advantage of the chocolate fountain. Namely, said child was eating all the marshmallows and pretzels and skipping all the fruit. Go straight for the carbs, like sugar, carbs, whatever. Anyway, there has to be a boundary that guards the flow. A boundary isn't like a wall, right? But if you think about a river has a bank on both sides. It's like a water line. It's defining how far energy can go without drying up. A boundary is the gas tank saying 39 miles left to go before you're completely empty. This is your fair warning, right? It might mean like you have to say no to, somebody wanting to add one more thing to your plate, another project. It might mean leaving your phone in a different room while you're doing something important or even while you're sleeping. It might mean protecting one day as your Sabbath and keeping it sacred so that you can rest and lean on the Lord, right? Another thing is pairing rest with purpose. So a rhythm is going to work best when work and rest live in like a balance. So God's design included both, 6 days of creation and work and 1 day of rest. It's not about sabotaging or neglecting responsibilities or escaping the things that you're called to do or committed to. It's about sustaining it. Work and rest have a balance. So you live and work on purpose, but you also rest and restore on purpose. Also, I would say, in order to not get so empty, this is something that I believe I need to do. I think that renewal needs to be planned in the same way we plan responsibility. That means don't just plan to be responsible for all of the work and be like, I work on these days and I do all of these things and then I give everybody all these things and I pour myself out here and here and here and here and all day that day and all day that day and half a day this day. It's also saying, yeah, I'm going to a worship night this Friday. Nothing is going to get in my way. It means I am going to get renewed. I'm taking a vacation this season. I am going away for 2 days. I'm taking a day trip. I am going to be alone. I'm going to go be with friends. I'm going to go be with people who pour into me. I'm going to go be with the source. I'm going to go marinate in the chocolate fountain, right? We schedule a lot of meetings and travel and work and car lines at school, but we don't schedule in like the stuff in the margins. Like renewal becomes more of a rhythm that anchors you when you treat your soul care as a non-negotiable and you put it on your calendar. Book a walk. Decide with a friend you're going to walk every Wednesday at 10 till 12, right? Whatever you have to do, you have to start protecting it, guarding it. Breaks like once a day or on mornings or once a week, whatever you got to do. The rhythm begins when you start planning around what gives you life instead of just what demands something from you. You have to start small with your rhythms so that you can be more consistent and stay steady in it. And when you get tempted, and I know you will, I do, when you get tempted to jump back into the old patterns of overgiving, overworking, too much, saying yes, too much being available. Every time you choose peace over pressure, you form a new groove in your brain and in your life. Like you create a neural pathway where grace can flow and the refilling and renewal can flow there and not get blocked and not run out of gas. Don't be conformed to the pattern of this world. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. The world's pattern is constant output. God's rhythm is renewal and rest. Okay, so he says in Exodus 33:14 that his presence will go with you and he will give you rest. You don't have to master all of this and be perfect about it. You don't have to have, again, the blueprint of your rhythm perfected. You just have to start. Think of it like learning to walk for the first time, like you're a little baby. I'm just trying. I'm just willing to show up and try. I just want to hear the Lord. Ask yourself what keeps you grounded, what gets you full, what helps you stay full, what fills you back up, what kind of boundary protects it, what kind of guarding do you need to do? Rhythm is where awareness becomes wisdom. Permission is peace, and renewal is your lifestyle, right? So it's how you're moving from survival to flow. And you need the flow. We have got to be in the flow. We have to be underneath the flow of the source, God, the living water, pouring out into us so we can have something to give everybody. I love you, friend. Thanks for being with me in this mini series about finding out that you're empty and figuring out what to do about it. I appreciate you being with me in it. I appreciate your grace and patience with me. And I so appreciate you giving grace and patience to you. I believe in you. You have a true identity that we're searching for. God wants to speak to you about who you are, what your true purpose is that flows out of that identity, and where you truly belong, how you fit in the kingdom, and how he's got specific things and people for you to fit into, for you to pour into in your life. And that's what I'm here for. Not going to let the enemy keep me from it, but I'm definitely going to hear the Lord and seek out his will as he pours into me so that I can pour back into you. And then I encourage you to go find other people to pour into. Get into the chocolate fountain. Love you, friend. All things are possible. Everything is figure outable, and I'm with you in it. Have a good day. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to the show so you don't miss any new episodes. And to learn more about me, my work, and how we can connect, visit sterlingandstonementoring.com or check the show notes. And until next time, remember, all things are possible and figure outable.